Does that inspire you all, especially for you being an African American,
Yeah.
seeing these guys participate in this winter sport, right? Does that inspire you
Yeah.
a
No,
bit, even though it's maybe like 50-50 true, 50
right.
not? But they took a sport that they didn't belong in
Yeah.
and still competed.
Yeah, I think for me, just whenever I'm able to, from just being black and being an African American standpoint, able to see representation in other areas where we don't spend a lot of time, it speaks volumes to not just who I am and where I want to go and what I want to accomplish, but also what I want to be for other people. And so being able
Sure.
to think about the team that we've had this year and competing and being one of the few African Americans, just even on the USABS side of things, we're definitely growing in numbers. And again, I've been in the program for about 18 months, almost 2 years now. But for folks that have been in the program for years, they're starting to see how the sport's changing. We're seeing a lot more folks coming in from football and from other sports into bobsled kind of after their primary sport careers. And so just being able to be that representation, that role model, and that inspiration for others, and to be able to share my story of, even for me, like I mentioned, if you were to ask me if I was to be an Olympian, I probably would have said yes, but it would have been down the track and field path. But to
Sure.
feel and to acknowledge and to make the pivot, and what for some may feel like a vulnerable moment of being a bobsledder, because no one grows up in it, can also feel like a being an athlete that's failed at another sport. And that's kind of how some may talk about it, in terms of it feels like this very off space that no one really treads in too much, but when people are in it, they spend a lot of time. And so you see a lot of ex other athletes step into it, but it's been a journey. It's, I think, the journey that inspires others, and it's the stories of how folks get into it. But to answer your question, a long way to answer your question, I think, yeah, the movie has definitely
Yeah.
done a lot for me in terms of how I'm able to see myself and how I'm able to allow others to see themselves in me, in terms of being able to perform in an area where it's not the most common, or you're not seeing a ton of folks that look like you in the sport as well.
Yeah, and I mean you're seeing a change, right? They had a African American woman on the hockey team who
Yeah.
won
Yeah.
gold, right? And that's very new. That's very new for for you guys, in general, to be
Yeah.
breaking into a sport. And if you're not going to compete in 2030, and believe me, I'm not speculating you will or not, and
Yeah.
I don't think anybody. Do you feel like you are now an agent of change, where you can now take your newfound title of Olympian and take that on a tour around to maybe less privileged schools and say,
Yeah.
hey, you can do it
Yeah. Yeah,
with
I
a little
think
bit of
it's
hard
I
work?
think yeah, I think I can definitely, with this kind of newer and title and the new letters that I can put behind my name as well, can and have the ability to do that. And some of the things that, when I think about what I'm able to do to give back, will be in areas. And so finding high schools, finding all boys schools, finding going back to Howard County and spending some time at some elementary schools, like I will be doing some of those things to make sure that not just those that are close to me, or those that are in the sports that I've been in, but others start to see what the journey can be like, how the journey can be possible. And really, once you set a goal and you set kind of a target, how you put together a plan to really start to execute that. And it's about being consistent. It's about concerning all the elements, and it's also about making sacrifices. And so having folks recognize that it's not going to be an easy journey. No one's going to hand it to you, and you have to earn it, but those things take time and it's possible. And so how and when you make that decision is going to be the difference also between whether you accomplish the thing that you're looking to accomplish, or not as well.